Hey there guys, this is Decimatus back for part 2 of the Stealth Guide. Today we're going to be taking a more focused look at detection. What it is, how it works, the stuff you need to know about it. First of all, high concealment means low detection. Your concealment rating is the sum total of the concealment rating on all your equipment. This includes your armor, melee weapon, primary weapon, and secondary weapons. Concealment is found in the stat breakdown for the equipment you're looking at. A new player without mods and level 0 weapons will have a hard time getting their concealment up, but it becomes much easier after a few levels and you can unlock some more weapons and get some more loot drop cards. They added some free silencers with that last mod pack, however, they decrease concealment by quite a bit. Each slot can have a maximum of 30 concealment, with exception to the melee weapons, which can have up to 32 when you have the Hidden Blade skill from the Fugitive tree. Your goal for stealth is to reach a minimum of 118 concealment spread across all your items. You can accomplish this by having at least 29.5 on each slot, but realistically you can have any combination, like having the 32 on your melee weapon gives you some leeway and is what allows you to get away with not bringing a 30 concealment pistol or something like that. You can actually branch out and bring a silenced shotgun, a silent SMG, or just something different than the silent Car 4. Though I find the Car 4 to be a pretty accurate weapon that's extremely easy to get high concealment on. Now we've been talking a lot about concealment. What does that have to do with detection? So concealment and detection have an inverse relationship. As the amount of concealment you have goes up, your actual detection rating goes down. Once your concealment rating rises above 91, you'll start to see your detection drop. Every point of concealment you add after that 91st point further decreases that detection risk. When you're stealthing, you should always aim for around 119 concealment and 3 detection risk. Here, I've reached exactly 118 concealment, which is all you need to get 3 detection risk. I've got my Silent Judge, my Silent Car 4, which even has a sight on it, and the Nova Shank, which could be any 32 concealment weapon, along with the good old 2-piece suit. Your detection rating is just another one of the factors that goes into how quickly you'll be detected. The equation to do this is kind of a clusterfuck. It can be pretty easily summed up as a combination of your detection risk, the distance between the observer and the observed, the distance from the center of the observer's field of view and what's being observed, and the actual observer type and what object is being observed. Everything has a specific distance at which it can see you. The actual distance away you are and whether or not you're crouching affects that. As you can see here, as I bob up and down and back and forth, I'm jumping in and out of his field of view, both distance-wise and angle-wise. Cameras have the most limited field of view, with 60 degrees right in front of them. They can't turn or rotate, so that limits them in another way. Guards and civilians have a 120 degree field of view. However, the closer you get, from 8.5 meters to 1.5 meters, that shoots up from 120 degrees to 360. So the closer you get, the more that radius is and the greater area they can see around them. When it comes to people, like civilians and enemies, their field of view is directed straight from their face, which means that when they turn their head, their field of view adjusts with it. So it's just like in Metal Gear Solid. Whichever direction he's looking, that's the direction of that big cone. So if you're standing right behind him and he happens to glance behind his shoulder, he is looking at you and you are being detected during those times. Along with the fact that the camera comes straight out of his face, that's what he has to see of you. So you can hide yourself behind a lampshade, where your whole lower half of your body is visible as long as he can't see your face. We're playing 5-year-old peekaboo here. It's not just guards that work that way. Everything requires a line of sight, whether it's a camera, a civilian, or anything. In order to see you, it has to have a true line of sight. This also applies to things that you leave in the map, whether it's a body bag, a running drill, or anything like that. As long as they can't get line of sight from their face to whatever that item is, you're good to go. The smallest wall in the world will block them as long as their vision can't reach over it and they can't see whatever it is that's hiding behind it. The drill's another one that'll affect detection, although that works a little bit differently than everything else. Most of those are largely dependent on what is seeing it to determine how far away it can be. But with the drill, it's different. Regardless of how far away it is, or how quiet it is because of your skills, it's still going to be heard by the camera, guards, and civilians. If you have the silence skill, guards and civilians will pretty much ignore it unless they get line of sight. Cameras, however, give no fucks. They are going to hear it even if they're not looking directly at it. For many missions, it's not worth it to take silent drilling, and it's almost always better to use that drill to lure guards to you. This is one of the few ways in the game that you can actually do this. Things that can be detected aren't just you and the drills. There's plenty of other things that can be seen as well, like body bags, the actual dead civilian before you've bagged him. A civilian who's already been alerted can alert other civilians, along with guards that are already alerted. That system can be summed up pretty quickly by saying that anything that doesn't have an exclamation point over its head is in a cool state. It's not about to ruin your heist, it doesn't care about you, it's cool. Whereas, when you're being detected, that question mark shows up, along with the detection meter. And if that reaches 100 and becomes an exclamation point, you become detected. The observer, be it a camera, a guard, thug, or civilian, is now uncool. They are going to fuck up your heist, they're going to try to call, they're going to do all the things that they do when they become detected. Being detected by a camera is the worst possible scenario when it comes to being detected during stealth. If you do reach 100 with a camera, you're done. As soon as you see that exclamation point on the camera, it has already phoned out, and the alarm is about to be raised, regardless of what you've done. This is why cameras can be a big nuisance, and the camera looper skill, or just taking out the cameras with the camera room, is a good idea for most heists that have them. Guards aren't as bad as they seem, and as long as you do it relatively strategically, you can alert them and actually get them to move a little bit. For instance, if they see a body, 9 times out of 10, the guard is going to move over to that body to investigate before they do anything else. I feel like they need to be sure of what it is they're seeing before they'll call out. So take advantage of that brief time while they're moving, and shoot them. You can use this time to judge them into a better spot, or just get yourself back to them if you weren't expecting this guard to alert and you've got to run halfway across the map. Remember though, whether it's a civilian or a guard, as soon as you see that radio icon, they need to be dead. You only have a couple seconds before that goes out, and you are done. When it comes to civilians, you have a little bit more leeway, and you'll notice that when you take them down, that little exclamation point remains. However, with my HoxHud, it's recolored green. If I wait until the civilian gets back up, you'll see that that exclamation point turns red again. When it's red, using HoxHud, I know that they have risk of using their radio. When they're green, they're down. When they're down, they cannot use their radio. However, after a certain amount of time, they will get right back up and try to use it again. Either kill them and bag them if their body's in a bad spot, get them zip-tied, or have someone devote their time to making sure they stay shouted down. Regardless of what you do, do not let them call out. Glass breaking is a big deal as well. You can pretty much guarantee that if you've broken glass on a heist, you might as well just restart. What this means is that any guard that sees this broken glass is going to pretty much immediately alert, whether he's looking straight at it or not. It sucks, and it does happen, but like I said, it might just be worth it just to restart unless there's only one stationary guard or one pathing guard in the area and you're certain he's not going to see it. Obviously, breaking glass on a mission like Ukrainian Job isn't as big of a deal as breaking glass on a mission like Big Oil Day 2. If you break one of those big panes of glass out in the open area, you are not getting away with that. Whereas the window in the back of Ukrainian Job, not as big of a deal. You're only going to alert the people inside and possibly the pathing people outside, so it's not as big of a deal. That's going to wrap up part 2 of the Stealth Guide. Thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video or you learned something. You can go ahead and click here to check out one of my other videos. As always, happy heisting. Peace.